Hi there, James here from Knives and Stones. On today's episode, I will show you how to rehandle a knife. Yes, putting a Hardwood handle onto this knife. Okay, I have to say that this episode is specific about rehandling a Hardwood handle. So if you have one of those exotic ebony handle, or maybe you have a custom-made handle, then you probably should not follow this tutorial. I will have another tutorial talk about how to deal with those type of handles. But on today's episode, it's all about rehandling the Hardwood handle using the burning method. Okay, let's start. Right, the steps of the burning method is as what is called burning. So the step is, the first one is use a blowgun or whatever heat source that you may have. Heat up the tang, not the knife, and not too close, right? Okay, heat up the tang. When it's hot, put in the handle. Tap the button, use a mallet, wooden mallet, tap the button, and the knife should gradually go further and further into the handle, and finally reach the desired position. That is the traditional burning method. However, there are quite a few catches that I find during the years of rehandling that you should look out for, and if you don't pay attention, you may well get a knife that's sort of stuck halfway in between the handle, like this. You may just have it got stuck there and couldn't go in. And the reason is, right, okay, the Japanese knives, different manufacturers will have different styles of tangs, like this too, right? Okay, so different knives, they have different tang, different thickness, different width, and different length. However, both of these knives, in my opinion, will fit this Yanagi profile handle. So what is the problem? The problem is that, see here, the tang can go almost all the way into the handle. But for this chef's knife, this Tanaka, it can just go in about not even a third. And what would be the problem for this one? Is that there's a very high chance that even you hit it really hard, right? Let's say, okay, you hit it really hard. It may still have a high chance that you just couldn't tap it into position. You can't do this, right? You can't force your way into it because it gives too much of stress to the handle, and because of the high heat, you may well crack the handle, and that's not desired. And also, you can't really hit the tank so hard, because then this is a full piece of metal. If you hit it really hard, I've seen knives that sent to me, and people trying to do that by themselves, and what happened is that they hit the tank too much, and then they even overheated the blade itself, and the blade got discolored. That means the heat treatment is ruined. So you should avoid that for sure. So my advice is that check the tank hole and the tank before you start doing the burning process. Just make sure that the tang of the knife sits at least 50%, at least 50% into the handle, preferably slightly more, like 60%, 70%. That is what I think it is the best to do a burn-in. If the tang is too wide, like this one, see, it's going only a bit. If it is too wide or too thick, you may have a Sanjo knife that has a really thick neck or heel or spine. um, you have to do something about it. Otherwise, you may find yourself getting stuck halfway. So, let's say we want to, use this knife as an example. This Tanaka, it has the tang that is slightly too wide to this Hardwood handle. Then what should you do? You should grind it down. Okay, it's if it is too thick, too wide, grind it down a bit, and I will show you next on how I would do it. Alright, okay, so the first thing I would do is I will cover the knife with tape, with masking tape or whatever tape that you might have, just so that the sharp edge is not going to cut me while I'm dealing with the tang. Once it's ready, I will use a vise to clamp the knife. Okay, I put it onto a vise, so it's extra safe. All right, okay, and let's start. Alright, okay, so I think it's now pretty much done. So, before my handle will only go to about this place, and now it can go quite a lot further in, and it's about half of the tang's length, and I think I should be able to get it done. So now let's do the actual burning. Alright, okay, so now we will do the actual heating and the burning process. Yeah, don't hit it too close to the knife because you will heat up the knife itself. So just to the mid and rear part of the tang, and that's about it. Now let's put it in. Okay. See, it will start going in. It will start going in by itself, and then once your hand can no longer push it in, start tapping, like so. Okay, right, that's it. So, you look at it. The knife went all the way in, and that's what I'm trying to say is that if your tang was too wide and you are trying to start tapping it in, it's very different. And look at how I was holding it. I was holding it, holding the handle to tap. I'm not holding the knife and start doing tapping like that. So that's hammering. That's not tapping. I was holding the knife like so and then tapping. Now, as you can see, the handle has been installed into the knife, and if you look at here, you can see the handle and the knife is not, obviously has a bit of a gap. That is normal, right? The knife is not as thick as the tang hole, and what you have is you have a bit of a gap in between the knife and the handle, and you want to seal it off. So what I would do is I personally will use a bit of clear silicone. I find that to be the easiest to use and is waterproof. So that's what I would do. Is I will, a bit of silicone. People, you can use all sorts of things. You can use wax. That's perfectly fine. I find that it's not as stable as silicone. So I will use a bit of silicone. Use a bit of silicone. All right, and just wipe off the excess like so, and yeah, wipe off the excess, and once let it dry. Once it is dry, your knife is ready to go. And finally, it's just to make sure it is straight, and if it's bent a bit, you can just use your hand to adjust. It's perfectly fine. Usually we will use one of those tools, but in this case we or most of you don't have one. I have one, but most of you don't. So it's perfectly okay to just do that. Just bend the knife, make sure it is straight, and yeah, that's it. That's a burning. There's a knife that's been burned into this handle. Okay. Thank you for watching.